Hello, and welcome to the world of survival horror. Resident Evil 3 was originally conceived as a spin-off game that had a 9-month development cycle. And since the game is much shorter than Resident Evil 1 and 2, there was a conscious effort to extend the game's replayability with the inclusion of random events, live selection sequences, and a multitude of puzzle solutions. When Capcom decided more than halfway through development that this game will be a mainline entry in order to be able to sell stocks, Aoyama and his team had to do all that they could to connect the game to Resident Evil 1 and Resident Evil 2, thus leading to Jill Valentine being the main character. Development lore aside, these decisions led to Resident Evil 3 having the absolute most variety of cutscenes, missable sequences, and interactions that can be discovered throughout the game. I will only be covering alternate cutscenes and how to obtain them. The static cutscenes will not be shown here. This is just covering all of the stuff that can be directly affected by your choices in the game. I am well aware of how Resident Evil 3 will move ammo, healing items, and enemies around in order to keep things interesting, so if you comment that I am not going to be talking about how stuff like the grenade launcher and the Magnum will either appear in the STAR's office, then you clearly aren't paying attention. Despite the rushed development cycle, I believe that Aoyama and his team knocked the ball out of the park with Resident Evil 3, and this game is my personal favorite out of the classic PS1 trilogy. There are many ways to play through Resident Evil 3, and I'm going to do my best to cover all of them. I am sure I will have missed something, but I try my best to be thorough. My name is Berquito, and I am here because life somehow found a way. The first event in the game that can be directly affected is whether or not Brad will burst through the door, or you have to interact with the door for it to burst open. That's it, it's just one or the other. You either go through this alleyway, Brad will pop out automatically, or you, Jill, would have to open a door and Brad will pop out, and that's it. You're not crazy if you only got one or the other. Trust me, both things can happen. It's just random every time you play. Leading up to meeting Brad at the bar, Joe can actually run up and kill the zombie or let Brad kill the zombie himself. Or if you're bored, you could do what I like to do and just let the zombie grab you and didn't have Brad just keep shooting it off of you. And don't worry, this won't cause any damage. It's just a funny little thing that you can do.
Get away!
This early on in the game, it's possible to encounter this young girl who unfortunately falls victim to a zombie. You can actually have this happen at just about any time so long as you enter the area from a door that is opposite of where she will appear. This event is completely missable, and no, this girl is not Dario's daughter. In fact, Aoyama is well aware of people who make this claim. However, she is just a random character and is no one in particular. One of two things can happen here at the gate. Either the gate will burst open upon entering the room, or the gate will burst open after lighting the rope on fire. Again, you are not crazy if you misremember somehow one of these things happening out of order. I personally love when the gate bursts open early, it doesn't really matter, but besides the point, I just like coming back here by the barrel and just blowing them all to chunks. It's always a fun time. When encountering Nemesis, this is the game's first live selection, which is what the game calls the moments where you have to make a decision. This means that you must quickly make a choice before the timer expires. Although the game gives you two options here, there is always a secret third option, which is to just let the time expire. You will see throughout the game how letting the timer expire can be both useful and detrimental. If you choose to run into the police station, then Jill will simply go through the double doors. However, this means that you lose access to Brad's card that's in his wallet that you can obtain off his body, which will guarantee you early access to the PC in order to find one of the 4 codes to the locker containing the STARS office key. Going this path will mean that you will have to obtain Jill's STARS ID card from the briefing room. Granted, you don't need to do any of this at all because you could always guess one of the 4 codes anyway. If you choose to fight with the monster, you can then take on Nemesis and choose to investigate Brad's body for his wallet containing his STARS ID and avoid needing to go and get Jill's. If you decide to fight Nemesis, well, you can KO him, and defeating him will drop a part of the Eagle handgun in a silver case. Now, let's just say you want to run away from Nemesis completely. In fact, this is actually a viable strategy that you could do all throughout the game. You're never forced to encounter Nemesis one way or the other. The game has event triggers where he will appear. If you backtrack to the room where that gate burst open, it will despawn Nemesis, but doing this will also despawn Brad's body. In fact, throughout the game, you can despawn Nemesis this way in various locations. It's funny because people will swear up and down that Nemi chases you all throughout the game at random, but he actually only exists within various hot zones. If you run the PC version with the trainer tool on, you can actually see Nemesis spawn through a hot zone, which is indicated by his health bar appearing on the top of the screen, regardless of whether or not he decides to show up. This is also signified by the change in music. However, since the game refuses to let Nemesis spawn during a camera angle where you could see him enter a doorway or have an obvious position of seeing him teleport in somehow, you will always have an idea of when and where he will spawn, since off camera, Nemesis simply loads into the map, and Capcom didn't want to break the immersion of the video game by allowing players to see him teleport in. Every time you defeat Nemesis, he will not appear until his next event trigger. This means that when and where Nemi appears is far more controlled than players are led to believe. So, if you want to complain about the Resident Evil 3 remake limiting the appearance of Nemesis in comparison to the original, I have news for you. You were always wrong. Nemesis was never a random occurrence. You simply misremembered the game or have no understanding of how it ever worked, and we had the tools to prove this. Now that I am done basically explaining how Nemesis actually works through the power of technology and experience, I'll give you another interesting tidbit about the first Nemesis encounter, and that is if you decide to fight with the monster while the rectangle is red and the time is about to expire, Jill will automatically dodge Nemesis as he goes to swing to punch her. This will actually give you an upper edge in the battle against him. This is the only live selection in the game that changes depending on when you want to make a choice. This is a sound strategy, and you can try this for yourself, so you're welcome. It's also possible to discover Brad standing up T-posing, at least in version 1.0 of the game, but more in version differences a little later. It is very creepy, and I've had it happen to me in both the Japanese and American version. I will tell you that in the footage that you see, I have been collecting all the files in the correct order. It is an optional thing thing that will allow you to unlock something special near the end of the game, so if you want to see what that is, stick around and you will find out. The RPD doesn't give you any choices that will directly affect how the game flows. However, if you do decide to take Nemesis out here in the RPD, it means that he won't appear until the next time you see him, which is when you meet Carlos. Although, it does give you the opportunity to unlock the other half of the Eagle handgun parts. So running away from Nemesis means that you will never get the silver case item. I do want to make a video that showcases strategies used to take out Nemesis for each boss encounter, so feel free to subscribe and ring that notification bell if you would like to see that video in the future. There are two places where you can meet Carlos. You can choose to meet him in either the Raccoon Press office, or you can meet him at the Grill 13 diner. Starting with the Raccoon Press, you will find Carlos lying unconscious on the floor. Nemi will soon come to break up the meeting, and a live selection will appear, forcing you to choose whether or not you want to hide or jump out of the window. If the timer expires, Nemi will just attack you both, and then you'll have to either fight or run away. And I don't recommend fighting Nemesis in the Raccoon Press office, since the environment is difficult to navigate the chaos due to all the tight spaces. If you choose to hide, an explosion will KO Nemesis and will give you time to escape. If you wait around too long, Nemi will get back up and you'll be forced to fight him as you try to make an escape.
Hey.
Where am I?
Relax. You're fine.
If you say so, but my head feels like it's about to explode. Anyway, name's Carlos. Glad to meet you, lady.
Jill. Alpha Team? RPD's STARS unit. Who do you represent?
Stars, I see. Well, I'm a member of the Biohazard Countermeasure Force sent by Umbrella Incorporated.
Sent by Umbrella?
Hey, don't look at me like that. What did I say? Do you have a problem?
Oh no. It's him!
If you choose to jump out of the window, you don't have to fight Nemi at all, but it will result in him chasing you later. I will now show you all the cutscene variants depending on choices that you make.
Come on!
Ow, that killed! Just so you know, I'm not into that pain is pleasure thing, okay?
Just deal with it. That thing wants me dead. We've got to get out of here! Wait, I have to ask you something.
I know. You want to ask me out? All the foxy ladies love my accent. It drives them crazy.
I have to know. Why did Umbrella send you here?
Because we're on a civilian rescue mission.
Oh, you're full of it. They're the ones who caused all this in the first place.
Look, we're just mercenaries, hired hands. Do you really think the master would tell his dogs why they have to retrieve the stick he just threw? Listen, if you want answers about Umbrella, you're asking the wrong guy. Believe it or not, we are here to rescue civilians. If you can trust me, join us. Think about it.
Wait. I have to ask you something.
I know. You want to ask me out? All the foxy ladies love my accent. It drives them crazy.
I have to know. Why did Umbrella send you here?
Because we're on a civilian rescue mission.
Oh, you're full of it. They're the ones who caused all this in the first place.
Look, we're just mercenaries, hired hands. Do you really think the master would tell his dogs why they have to retrieve the stick he just threw? Listen, if you want answers about Umbrella, you're asking the wrong guy. Believe it or not, we are here to rescue civilians. If you can trust me, join us. Think about it.
I need to ask you something. Why did Umbrella send your team here?
Our mission is to rescue the civilians.
How kind of you. Considering Umbrella caused all this in the first place, those liars!
Look, we're just mercenaries, hired hands. Do you really think the master would tell his dogs why they have to retrieve the stick he just threw? No time for talking. If you can believe me, then join us. Think about it!
Running away from Nemesis also triggered Nemesis to appear and chase Joe as you are within a hot zone. That is, until you collect the gems needed for the gate and proceed onwards to the streetcar. I know that some of you might call it a cable car or a trolley, but I grew up and I live in New Orleans and we've always said streetcar. Now, I couldn't always get Nemesis to appear in the hot zone at all times when I did make this choice, because it truly is RNG dependent on whether or not he will show up at the hot zones, and you could really be here all day having to walk back and forth through doors trying to get him to spawn. I did manage to get him to spawn here right in the back alley behind the diner, so you can at least see that he can chase you in this vicinity, although I do find that entering the save room and exiting will spawn Nemesis directly out of the save room. There actually is a moment that you could miss where Carlos calls a zombie a scum and then shoots him, and if you don't walk down this pathway up the street leading up to the entrance of the diner, you actually will never be able to see this little interaction.
Scum!
Meeting Carlos at the diner will result in one of two main choices. You can hide in the kitchen or hide in the basement. You can also let the timer expire, allowing you to battle Nemi or run away. If you run away, you can go out of the front door or the back door to have a conversation with Carlos and then trigger Nemesis to appear. Hiding in the kitchen will result in a cutscene where Jill ignites the gas with a candle that will KO Nemi with an explosion. This gives you time to run away as well as grants a free prize. Heading towards the back door will result in a unique conversation with Carlos, and you can trigger Nemesis to appear. By the way, if you aren't getting the silver cases that Nemi drops, that means that you are playing on easy mode and you probably suck at the game, and that's okay. And only on heavy and hard mode is where you're able to get the silver cases. If you hide in the basement, the water will begin to rise. If you don't try to escape, the rising water level will force you to go back up the ladder and re-encounter Nemesis, essentially punishing you for making a poor decision. When hiding in the basement, if you manage to escape, then you will have a conversation with Carlos in the back alley as zombies start to approach you both. If you head to the Raccoon Press afterwards, Nemi will not follow you there if you make this choice. Running away from Nemesis while he is still active in this hot zone, however, will mean that Nemi will engage you at the Raccoon Press after grabbing the green gem. Remember that the first place that you meet Carlos will determine the position of the green gem. Meeting Carlos at the Raccoon Press will mean that the green gem will appear at the diner in the basement, and meeting Carlos at the diner means that the green gem will appear in the Raccoon Press office. The blue gem, however, will always be in the RPD evidence room. Of course, regardless of how you wish to KO Nemi here, whatever it means you use to defeat him and grab his prize, he will not follow you at all until much later into the game. Every time you KO Nemi, he will not spawn into his next event trigger. Once you use the gems to enter the locked gate, you are Nemesis free for a very long time.
Hey,
Where am I?
Relax. You're fine.
If you say so, but my head feels like it's about to explode. Anyway, name's Carlos. Glad to meet you, lady.
Jill. Alpha Team? RPD's STARS unit. Who do you represent?
Stars, I see. Well, I'm a member of the Biohazard Countermeasure Force sent by Umbrella Incorporated.
Sent by Umbrella?
Hey, don't look at me like that. What did I say? Do you have a problem?
Oh no. It's him! I need to ask you something. Why did Umbrella send your team here?
Our mission is to rescue the civilians.
How kind of you. Considering Umbrella caused all this in the first place, those liars!
Look, we're just mercenaries, hired hands. Do you really think the master would tell his dogs why they have to retrieve the stick he just threw? No time for talking. If you can believe me, then join us. Think about it!
Wait. I have to ask you something.
I know. You want to ask me out? All the foxy ladies love my accent. It drives them crazy.
I have to know. Why did Umbrella send you here?
Because we're on a civilian rescue mission.
Oh, you're full of it. They're the ones who caused all this in the first place.
Look, we're just mercenaries, hired hands. Do you really think the master would tell his dogs why they have to retrieve the stick he just threw? Listen, if you want answers about Umbrella, you're asking the wrong guy. Believe it or not, we are here to rescue civilians. If you can trust me, join us. Think about it.
Come on!
Ow, that killed! Just so you know, I'm not into that pain is pleasure thing, okay?
Just deal with it. That thing wants me dead. We've got to get out of here! Wait. Wait. I have to ask you something.
I know. You want to ask me out? All the foxy ladies love my accent. It drives them crazy.
I have to know. Why did Umbrella send you here?
Because we're on a civilian rescue mission.
Oh, you're full of it. They're the ones who caused all this in the first place.
Look, we're just mercenaries, hired hands. Do you really think the master would tell his dogs why they have to retrieve the stick he just threw? Listen, if you want answers about Umbrella, you're asking the wrong guy. Believe it or not, we are here to rescue civilians. If you can trust me, join us. Think about it.
What's that?
Calm down, lady. I'm no zombie. My name's Carlos, Corporal of Umbrella's Biohazard Countermeasure Force. What's your name?
Jill, did you just say you belong to Umbrella's army?
Yeah, we came all the way out here to save you civilians, but the mission went bad the minute we landed.
How did he find me? Over here.
Are you crazy? You could have barbecued both of us!
I need to ask you something. Why did Umbrella send your team here?
Our mission is to rescue the civilians.
How kind of you. Considering Umbrella caused all this in the first place, those liars!
Look, we're just mercenaries, hired hands. No time for talking. If you can believe me, then join us. Think about it. Easy? You could have barbecued both of us.
Wait. I have to ask you something.
I know. You want to ask me out? All the foxy ladies love my accent. It drives them crazy.
What? Keep dreaming. Tell me, why did Umbrella send your team in?
We're here to rescue the civilians.
Don't lie to me. Umbrella is the reason why this whole mess began.
Look, we're just mercenaries, hired hands. Do you really think the master would tell his dogs why they have to retrieve the stick he just threw? If you want answers, you should talk to someone else. I am not with Umbrella. We'll have to finish this later. Believe it or not, we're only here to rescue the civilians. If you can trust me, then help us. Think about it.
This way. Wait, I have to ask you something.
I know. You want to ask me out? All the foxy ladies love my accent. It drives them crazy.
What? Keep dreaming. Tell me, why did Umbrella send your team in?
We're here to rescue the civilians.
Don't lie to me. Umbrella is the reason why this whole mess began.
Look, we're just mercenaries, hired hands. Do you really think the master would tell his dogs why they have to retrieve the stick he just threw? If you want answers, you should talk to someone else. I am not with Umbrella. We'll have to finish this later. Believe it or not, we're only here to rescue the civilians. If you can trust me, then help us. Think about it.
Find me. Wait, I have to ask you something.
I know. You want to ask me out? All the foxy ladies love my accent. It drives them crazy.
What? Keep dreaming. Tell me, why did Umbrella send your team in?
We're here to rescue the civilians.
Don't lie to me. Umbrella is the reason why this whole mess began.
Look, we're just mercenaries, hired hands. Do you really think the master would tell his dogs why they have to retrieve the stick he just threw? If you want answers, you should talk to someone else. I am not with Umbrella. Believe it or not, we're only here to rescue the civilians. If you can trust me, then help us. Think about it.
Wait, I have to ask you something.
I know. You want to ask me out? All the foxy ladies love my accent. It drives them crazy.
What? Keep dreaming. Tell me, why did Umbrella send your team in?
We're here to rescue the civilians.
Don't lie to me. Umbrella is the reason why this whole mess began.
Look, we're just mercenaries, hired hands. Do you really think the master would tell his dogs why they have to retrieve the stick he just threw? If you want answers, you should talk to someone else. I am not with Umbrella. Believe it or not, we're only here to rescue the civilians. If you can trust me, then help us. Think about it.
The game is pretty linear until you get to the streetcar to meet the rest of the UBCS members. The only thing really worth mentioning here is that the enemy layouts can change. You can find a barrel lying on its side outside of the streetcar. If you destroy this barrel, you will actually affect a very missable and optional cutscene. In order to get this Mikhail cutscene, what you need to do is have at least one part that you need for the streetcar, and you just have to insert it into the area where you would put the parts in for the streetcar to get moving again. The easiest part that you can get first are the cables that you can get from the sparking car in the garage. After you insert a part into the streetcar, you leave the area and then you come right back, and it will activate a cutscene where Mikhail is fighting for his life and fighting off zombies. If you destroy the barrel that's right there laying on its side, then Mikhail would instead use grenades in order to destroy the zombies. However, if you don't destroy this barrel, Mikhail will kick it and he will shoot the barrel as it goes into that group of zombies. Regardless of what happens here, Joe will escort Mikhail back into the streetcar and you can go about your way.
Come any closer!
Mikhail, do you have some kind of death wish?
You can also get a slightly different cutscene if you leave and come back to the area.
Mikhail, do you have some kind of death wish?
Don't come any closer!
Mikhail, do you have some kind of death wish?
My people, they were wiped out by these monsters. I can't stop just because I'm wounded.
But can't you see those monsters are also the victims of Umbrella?
Are you accusing me of taking it out on them? You don't seem to understand something. We're not really involved with the company. There's no reason for any of us to take responsibility for this mess.
I know that. And right now, that's the only reason why I'm trying to cooperate with you.
Sorry. I feel so useless.
Don't. You fought hard and have the wounds to prove it.
But I'm still alive. My men aren't.
Don't think about that now. Just rest.
I could not save my men.
And I do really like this cutscene because it does give a lot more sympathy and consideration towards Mikhail and how Jill feels towards these people. So at this point, the game is pretty non-linear. You have to reach the pharmacy, the gas station, and the power plant in order to gather items needed to get the streetcar to move. If you collect the battery before heading towards the pharmacy or the gas station, you will meet Carlos at the gas station, but if you don't collect the battery before heading to the gas station, you will meet Nikolai there instead. This means that you will meet the other merc at the other location, which is the pharmacy. It does not matter where you go first, however, depending on your choice will decide when you will meet Nemesis again.
I'll check over there.
No! Don't make me do this, Murphy. I don't want to shoot you.
Kill me! I finished. Not human.
Wait, we don't have to do this.
Please hurry. Before I lose conscious. Before too late. Kill me!
Yeah! Murphy. Why? No. No.
Carlos! Carlos, I'm sorry about Murphy, but there was nothing you could have done.
Yeah, you're right, Jill. I'll operate the cable car.
Nikolai won't be joining us. Come on, let's go.
Jill! Hey, the zombies are getting restless.
I know. I can hear them. What's going on?
Jill!
What's wrong?
They're coming! They must have sniffed us out. They know we're here.
Hey, calm down.
Any objections to my playing hero this time?
What are you doing? Carlos! No!
Relax. I'm not dead yet.
Are you okay?
I'm fine. That hero stuff is harder than it looks. Ouch, my ears are ringing. We both should be deaf by now. Okay, I'm gonna scrounge up some equipment. There might not be any at our destination.
Wait!
What did you do?
I had no choice. He was about to turn into a zombie. It would have been a threat, so I eliminated it.
But he was still conscious, wasn't he?
He was as good as dead. And it took fewer bullets to kill him now than it would have if he had transformed. Not now, I'm busy.
It looks like we're ready to go. Here, take this.
Okay. Nikolai won't be joining us.
I understand. I'll operate the cable car. Let's go.
I will mention that dogs or crows will burst out of the glass when you are backtracking to obtain the battery needed for the elevator, because that feels like a special event, and I'm sure some of y'all will talk about that. There are also crows that can burst out of a bus, but it seems that it either happens on your way towards the pharmacy or your way heading back to the streetcar, and I had issues getting the crows to burst out of the bus going one direction over the other, so the footage that you're seeing is what you get, but just know that it can happen on your way back or forth. It doesn't matter. Now, if you decide to do the power plant first or second, the player can encounter Nemesis if they choose to escape to the emergency exit only during that area's event live selection. You can decide to increase the electricity output and thus kill the zombies without having to encounter Nemesis altogether. You can also let this choice expire and force Jill to stand her ground and defend herself. If for some reason that you open the shutters one at a time, you will have to manually reset the voltage meter and the puzzle solutions will change. If you come to the power plant last, then you will never encounter Nemesis even if you choose to go out of the emergency exit. However, when dealing with the pharmacy, the only thing that changes is the password for the computer. So when you're using a TV remote, you can see different advertisements. The password with the greatest chance to appear is Sasprin, although typing in Adderall is technically faster if you just want to guess. And saying that, there has been world records with Aquacure as the password, so there's your random speedrunning lore fact. There are two very missable events that you can encounter when running back through the back alley, heading towards the beginning of the game, and then there are a few that are guaranteed. One of the missable moments is encountering Carlos as he is running away from a group of zombies at the back door of the diner, and you can decide if you want to take them out accordingly.
No!
Another missable moment is if you head all the way back to the beginning of the game where we first encounter Dario. He will unfortunately have been killed by a group of zombies. You did not have to come here at all, and this is here if you wish to have a more developed plot and to collect Dario's journal and some goodies. I also want to point out that in the original version of the game, when you first speak to Dario and you talk to him through the container, there's an extra line of dialogue that he says that isn't in any later versions. It's only in the Japanese version and the American 1.0 version. Just thought I would point that out.
I told you! I'm not leaving! Never! Just get away from me. I'd rather starve to death in here than be eaten by one of those undead monsters! Now leave me alone! I told you! I'm not leaving! Never!
If you walk past this police car after having explored the city properly, it will appear as if a zombie is trying to burst out the door. Zombies will always break out of these two police cars, however. Backtracking some more means that zombies will burst out of these windows too. I wasn't sure where to place these happenings, so I just decided to slip them in here in this section. When passing back through the area where Joe puts the fire out, Nemesis will always spawn here after your visit to the pharmacy. You can decide to fight him here if you want, or you can run away back towards streetcar. When you get back to the garage after having all the items needed to get the streetcar moving, the live selection plays out where the ground breaks open and the boxes are sliding out of the van. You can actually allow the timer to expire and the boxes will knock Jill down and cause some serious damage. Like seriously, this is a lot of damage for some reason. If you decide to jump down, Jill will land and dodge the falling boxes and you can make your way out of this small sewer section. The cool thing is that if you do decide to jump down, you can actually see the husk or the cocoon of the gravedigger, foreshadowing its existence. You can then climb up a ladder and you'll appear outside of this manhole. Choosing to climb up is the faster option and it means that you will never have to fall down and see the cocoon, but it almost as if you're kind of losing out a little bit of lore, so maybe it's more canon to fall down, who knows. It is possible for Nemi to appear in the area where you first engage the drain demos, but it seems as if this only happens if you spend a better part of the game running away from Nemesis rather than fighting him. He can even fall from the sky right here where the crow bus is. Nemi will always appear at the fork leading to the streetcar, and again, you can run away or fight him. When encountering the gravedigger underground, if you decide to fend it off, this will actually lower its HP value during the boss fight in the park. So there actually is a reason to do this if you want to make the park fight easier instead of just hitting the switches and escaping from the sewer. I suggest using acid rounds as that is the gravedigger's weakness. Okay, so we are officially done with Raccoon City and onward to the next area of the game. When on board a streetcar after using the parts to get it moving again, You can decide if you want to battle Nemesis or not. No matter what you choose, Mikhail will still blow up the car, and Nemi will be thrown off the streetcar in the FMV.
Mikhail!
Jill! Get out of the cable car, now!
Mikhail, wait, don't!
Get out of here! Hurry!
Mikhail!
Jill! Get out of the cable car, now!
Mikhail, wait, don't!
Get out of here! Hurry!
You now have a choice to make whether or not you want to jump out of the window or use the emergency brake. Believe it or not, what you choose here greatly affects the clock tower boss fight. If you choose to jump out of the window, Jill will start in this area of the clock tower, and she'll be able to grab this key early, encounter some zombies, and then she'll meet Carlos in the library and he will give her some freeze rounds. Eventually, we meet Nemesis on the balcony, and you have a choice to make of whether or not you want to use the light or the cord. Of course, my curiosity got the best of me, and I did let the timer expire. Nothing really changes, you just now have to fight or flight. If you decide to use the light, Nemesis will be blinded and Jill will push him off the balcony. I'll show you what happens if you use the cord later. Eventually, when you ring the bell, you see the iconic cutscene of Nemi destroying the helicopter, and you fight Nemesis at a clock tower. Nemi will retain his rocket launcher during this encounter, and you have to battle him while he has it equipped.
No, the brakes are out!
It's useless!
Phew. Well, we both managed to survive. Maybe we can start helping each other again.
Yeah, it's been rough. But we can rest now.
No, we're the only ones left. There's no rest for the wicked. Here's a gift for you. Jill! Jill! Hang in there! What have I done? I'm sorry, Jill. Please, wake up! Jill! Jill!
Now, let's rewind and decide to use the emergency brake. You now appear in front of the clock tower and you get this cool little cutscene showing off this amazing camera painting view of the clock tower itself. You will instead meet Carlos in the dining room and Jill will bitch slap him. And then you must perform an extra step to get the keys needed to explore the area before eventually encounter Nemi on the balcony. This time, using the cord, Jill will electrocute the shit out of Nemesis. You can also get a freebie item this way and proceed to run. I did wait for a while to see if Nemesis will get back up as he did in previous encounters, but he doesn't, so I just left. I mean, I sat there for like 5 minutes and he was still on the ground. This is probably indicating that he is getting slightly weaker as the battles against Jill are finally taking a toll on him. This time when you ring the bell and you battle Nemesis, you get an extra cutscene where Carlos will engage Nemi and destroy his rocket launcher, meaning that he will stick to using his tentacles and melee attacks in order to fight Jill. I love the fact that if Carlos blows up Nemesis' rocket launcher, it leads to some cool battle damage that appears on his skin. I will add that there is a small chance that you can get this little moment before heading upstairs where Jill will hear Nemesis growl before ascending. I'm unsure of what exactly triggers this, but it seems a bit more random than if not. I believe there's like a 1 in 10 chance of this actually happening if I'm not mistaken. This is a fun little detail, but if you attempt to push the bell as Jill, you get this fun little interaction.
No, the brakes are out!
Carlos, I don't believe it. You're alive.
I'm not sure how we're gonna get out of this town.
What are you talking about? We made it!
You don't get it. They have no intention of letting us make it back alive. Do you really think we can trust their great evacuation plan? Huh, it's just a piece of paper.
But we don't have any other choice than to trust them right now.
No, if we're gonna die, then we should get to choose when it happens.
So that's it then, huh? You're giving up?
No. I can't handle it. Jill! 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 Hey, don't die on me. Jill! Jill!
And I'm sure you guys are wondering what happens if the timer expires in the streetcar. Well, it seems that it always spawns you in front of the clock tower. I felt this would have been cooler if this led to a 50-50 decision, like maybe you didn't have a choice of whether or not you would appear in the back area of the clock tower or in the front entrance. I tested this for roughly 30 minutes and it seemed as if I was always placed in front of the clock tower, so I don't know if my luck was just bad or perhaps maybe you always appear in front of the clock tower. I just couldn't get the other choice to happen no matter what I did. The hospital section is surprisingly cut and dry. There are only 2 variations of cutscenes depending on what order Carlos decides to collect the items needed in order to make the vaccine to save Jill. If Carlos goes to the basement level first, then you will encounter Tyrell as he explains what he caught Nikolai doing.
I had no idea another guinea pig was still alive.
What are you doing? Have you lost your mind?
Sometimes it's easy to forget one's loyalties. Just like that traitor!
You mean the guy who shot you?
Yeah, you know him. The one with the gray hair and the ugly mug. I can't believe he had the guts to shoot me. That traitor!
You mean Nikolai?
If you go to the 4th floor first, then Carlos will instead catch Nikolai shooting Tyrell.
Don't shoot! No!
Nikolai? You're still alive?
You saw what happened.
What's going on?
I'm one of the supervisors. That's all you need to know.
Wait!
Whether or not you engage with hunters and zombies is all dependent on what you do in some RNG. If you ever wanted to know what it looked like if you stayed in the hospital as it blew up, here you go. When returning to jail, Carlos will encounter Nemi, who is now seemingly in one of his final forms. You can battle Nemesis here and make it easier for Joe when you control her again. However, you can actually watch Nemesis make his way to Joe, and this will result in a game over. Surprisingly, this game over was harder to trigger than it seems. The cutscene that takes place whenever you cure Joe is different depending on whether or not, as Carlos, if you decide to beat Nemesis or not. Running away from Nemesis will have Carlos mention that the monster's still out there, whereas defeating Nemesis, Carlos just mentions that he had a fight with that monster.
Hey! Are you okay?
Yes. Barely. What's going on?
No way! That monster just doesn't give up!
What? I thought we killed that thing!
No, it's been waiting for you!
He's playing with us. Carlos, do you think that it's unstoppable?
No, I don't think so. I'm sorry, Jill, but I've got to go take care of a few things. Oh, and bad news. Nikolai is still alive.
Nikolai? Are you sure?
Yes. I don't know how, but I do know that he is our enemy. Remember, don't trust him. We barely made it. How do you feel?
I'm okay. What happened to you?
I just fought with that monster. I've got some bad news. Nikolai's still alive.
But I thought he was dead.
That guy doesn't know the meaning of the word dead.
What is he after?
I don't know. All I know is that he is our enemy. I'm sorry, Jill, but there's something I gotta take care of. I promise I'll meet up with you later. But don't worry.
After saving Jill, we now take control of her, and we can choose to battle or run away from Nemi. This is also the final encounter in which Nemesis will drop an item if you defeat him. Moving on to the park, there is thankfully not much here to comment on. The only choice earlier in the game that affects this area is if you decide to fend off the gravedigger earlier in the city portion of the game. If you did, then the gravedigger will significantly have less HP. Also, there is a secret option here where if you wait long enough, which is approximately 3 minutes, the light fixtures will fall down and Joe can shoot them, which will effectively electrocute the gravedigger and kill it in one hit. The only choice left in the game that directly affects the ending that you obtain is whether or not you decide to push Nemesis off the bridge or you decide to jump down. If you do decide to push Nemesis off the bridge, then you'll be locked into the non-canon ending. You will also meet Carlos upstairs.
Carlos.
Jill, listen very carefully. They're planning on launching a missile directly into the city as soon as day breaks. The explosion will be powerful enough to destroy everything.
Are you sure about that?
Positive. I heard it straight from a supervisor.
They'll go this far to cover their tracks?
Come on, we have to hurry. There isn't much time left.
This means that you will encounter Nikolai in this area where he will be killed.
You're still wandering around.
Nikolai? So, you want to get out of here alone? Is that your plan?
I made certain none of the other supervisors survived. Since I'll be the only one who knows what really happened, I'll have more bargaining power when it comes to discussing my bonus.
Then why kill me? I'm not on their payroll.
They want you eliminated for reasons of their own. The amount is modest, but there is a reward to be claimed upon the confirmation of your death.
That's great, except I have no intention of contributing to your retirement fund.
And Carlos will end up procuring a helicopter. This also means that you get two very different cutscenes in a radio room.
Jill, where are you? If you can hear this transmission, respond immediately.
I'm here. What's up?
I got us a ride. The chopper engines are running and ready to go.
On my way.
The city's about to become ground zero. Hurry up! And don't forget to take that device with you.
What does it do?
That device tracks the distance of the approaching missile. Make sure you bring it with you. Now listen to me. Don't give up. We're both gonna survive this. Just get over here!
If you don't make a decision on the bridge, Nemesis will knock Jill off, and while this does damage Jill, it will lock you into the canon ending. And if you jump off the bridge, you will still be locked into the canon ending, but Jill won't take any damage. During this canon route, this means that Carlos would come to Jill's rescue, and then later heading in towards the radio room, you get an extra scene where Nikolai will shoot at Jill as he goes past the shutter.
Rescuing you is becoming a full-time job.
Thanks, Carlos. I owe you.
Listen closely, Jill. They're going to launch a missile directly into the city as soon as day breaks.
At dawn? But that's only...
I know. We don't have much time left. We have to split up and find a way out of here. And hey, watch out for that traitor Nikolai.
Nikolai?
When you finally get to the radio room, Jill will be presented with a live selection of whether to return fire to Nikolai or to negotiate with him. If you return fire to Nikolai, he presumably dies, and then Carlos will walk into the room and you will see this cutscene.
You're still alive. Such persistence.
Nikolai?
Sorry, but there is no escape from here.
Jill, what happened?
Carlos. The choppers.
I guess this is it then. But I don't want to die in a place like this. This isn't over yet. I'm not giving up, Jill. We still have a chance. I am not going to give up!
If you negotiate with Nikolai, he will eventually take off and you get this cutscene instead.
So, you want to get out of here alone? Is that your plan?
I made certain none of the other supervisors survived. Since I'll be the only one who knows what really happened, I'll have more bargaining power when it comes to discussing my bonus.
Then why kill me? I'm not on their payroll.
They want you eliminated for reasons of their own. The amount is modest, but there is a reward to be claimed upon the confirmation of your death. Although I'm sure I'll miss you, it's time to say goodbye. You can either accept death with dignity or die with regret. It's entirely up to you.
Jill, what happened?
Carlos. Nikolai beat us to the chopper.
I guess this is it then. But I don't want to die in a place like this. This isn't over yet. I'm not giving up, Jill. We still have a chance.
This is actually considered a canon route because since the events of Resident Evil Survivor are considered canon, we know that by finding Nikolai's reports in Survivor, he did manage to escape Raccoon City. Before collecting the transmitter on the desk of the radio itself, if you leave this room and re-enter, you will get a very missable cutscene where you will hear Barry try to contact Jill. It sounds as if they just reused the voice clips for Resident Evil 1.
Jill!
This is over. I've come to retrieve Jill. I can see there's no time left to bring her back. This is the stars. Please come in, Jill. Here, are you there to come? Come in.
Hey, he just called your name.
Who could it be?
It doesn't matter. We should tell him where we are. That's it. We've got to find a way out of here, now!
Warning. Missile attack confirmed. Warning. Missile attack confirmed. Emergency level D. All personnel evacuate immediately.
After the final fight with Nemesis, you have to make a choice. You could ignore the monster, let the timer expire, or give him stars. The funny thing is that if you don't make a choice, then he will spit acid at you, and this will poison Jill, indicating that she leaves Raccoon City infected yet again. The ending scene does change depending on the choices that you've made, so I'll make sure that I will show all of them so you can see the differences.
Jill! Over here!
I guess we're all set.
All right then, we're out of here.
Oh no.
It's here. It's time to go.
There are a few things I want to show off before wrapping up the video, such as how if you obtain every file in the game in order they appear in the menu, it will grant you a secret file called Jill's Diary. Or how it's showing you that if you wait long enough, you can get a game over by letting the timer run out at the end as well. I also forgot to mention that if you let the timer expire with Nikolai, it just forces you into the boss fight and you also take damage as a result. Resident Evil 3 has a lot to explore, and in time, I wish to make more videos as well as a flowchart, but I thought the flowchart would fit it better into a video that I have in the making about how to obtain Jill's diary, as well as discussing the epilogues and tricks in defeating Nemesis in every encounter. So now I'm just going to let the canon ending play out, and I hope you enjoy the remaining cutscenes.
Warning. System overheating. Enter cooldown mode.
Jill, look! Chopper's coming in! Yes!
Thanks, you saved us.
I couldn't let you die.
Is it you?
Are you ready to finish this?
It's coming!
Yeah. It's the end.
That's it. Umbrella's gone down.
There are two distinct final pictures as well, depending on which ending you get. And that, my friends, is all the optional stuff that is here to find, or at least that I have found in the last 26 years of me playing this game. I would not be surprised if there's anything at all that I had missed. I plan on releasing deep dives of each game, especially leading up to Resident Evil 9, and yes, I am very excited about this coming February, since I do very much love this franchise. The deep dives that I plan to do will cover more or less stuff that directly influenced the series, such as real-life events, films, literature, etc. Basically everything that inspired the direction and the development of the games, as well as their direct influences. There is so much you can discuss when it comes to Resident Evil. It essentially is a never-ending journey to dive into these games, the characters, the lore, and the world in which they all take place in. I appreciate any of all of you who are watching, and I'm so happy to say that my channel has reached over 1 million views. And that's something that I never thought that I would ever be able to say. So thank you all so much for the love and support. Feel free to comment, share, subscribe, or don't. It's your life. You can find me everywhere on basically every platform with my handle, Berquito Fuete, and even on Twitch, etc. I've been wanting to focus more on pushing things out on YouTube before getting serious about streaming again. So I apologize for any of my lack of live streaming. Thank you all for your time. Be good to yourself and to others. I'm out. Peace. You want to prove your worth and your ability at playing and being good at the classic Resident Evil games? Well, I got news for you. Go and follow Resi Runs. Resi Runs is a group built by a community of speedrunners who host races, mostly focusing on the original Resident Evil classic trilogy. It's lots of fun, and you can see some of the best players in the community go head to head, as well as getting to experience an overall damn good time. You can find them over at twitch.tv/ResiRuns. That's runs with the letter Z at the end. Twitch.tv/ResiRuns. Do you like both Resident Evil and raising money for a good cause? I have good news for you. BioRan for Mind is a charity event and group that aims to raise money for mental health treatment and awareness. It features many people who love playing, speedrunning, and challenging themselves playing Resident Evil titles in the various randomizers and mods. There are so many players who enter and take part in the event, from big speedrunners to the smallest underdog streamers from your block. It's all for fun and for a very good cause. Again, that is BioRan for Mine, with the number 4. Please go give them a follow over at twitch.tv/BioRanForMind. I will leave a link down in the description below.
The left, your hero.